Welcome back to the Nash Potatoes Outdoor Show. Today I'm in southern Colorado at the beautiful Mount Blanca, flying my drone between Blue Lakes and Lake Como. I had a beautiful fall day and I was able to get some really good footage of these two lakes, even though it was quite windy. On this day I met four really cool people, had such a good time. If you don't do much hiking, that's something that you should know, is that you tend to encounter some really interesting people that are a lot of fun to talk to. On this day I met Carl, and then Dustin and Shelly, and also Luis. I gave them a ride down the mountain with my side-by-side, and we got to know each other just a little bit. Made for a fun Saturday afternoon. So this trail on Google Maps is called Lake Como Road. And All Trails calls it Mount Blanca Road until you get up to Lake Como, and then it calls it Blanca Peak Trail. So it goes by multiple names, but I'm going to show you this trail in reverse, starting at the end and working our way backwards because it's a little bit more interesting that way. So we're starting at Blue Lakes, working our way back to Lake Como and back down the mountain. So this video is going to be a combination of drone video and a little bit of hiking and also a little bit of mental health talk. Actually, the main reason I went hiking on this day was to clear my mind from a pretty stressful week. I've been thinking about it quite a bit, and to be honest, I think it was mostly self-imposed stress from simply pushing myself a bit too hard. Recently, I've adopted this new attitude about life, and that is this: life could actually be fun if I decided to make it so. I think so often we see the problems in life, not realizing that we could actually enjoy the journey if we decided to make an effort to do that. So on this day, I decided to record some realizations that I uncovered, which I'll actually be sharing with you towards the end of the video. Also, I got really cool video of a side-by-side rock crawler, which I've never seen before. And then I've got video of the section of trail that I covered with my side-by-side, which will be a lot of fun to watch for some of you. And also at the end of the video, we're going to talk about All Trails has moved the trailhead location for the Lake Como hike. And I will give you more details about that towards the end of the video. So don't go anywhere. All right, so I wanted to give you the details of my hike on this day. The first section, I drove up the trail with my side-by-side. Otherwise, the distances are just way too long for me to be able to reach any of these lakes. And then, as you can see by the green line, I hiked 7 miles. So that would be 3.5 miles up and 3.5 miles back. The first lake I encountered is Lake Como, which is so beautiful. And then this is the first time I've actually continued on down the trail. I went a bit further, and it was very worth my while. It was such a beautiful area. And this takes me to Blue Lakes. And that was about enough hiking for the day. But if I would have continued on, I would have reached Crater Lake, which apparently is a good fishing spot. And then if I continued beyond that, I would have reached Blanca Peak, which is, my understanding, is quite challenging. All right, so this is actually a new section of trail for me. I've never hiked this far, although I have flown my drone over this area of the mountain. It's the area between Blue Lakes and Lake Como, and it is really cool. It's like a postcard. And that body of water right there, I actually don't think it's a named lake. It's just water that has gathered over time. But a really cool area. If you ever to make it to Lake Como, I encourage you to go just a bit further and check this area out at least. So beyond that, working my way towards Lake Como, there's this nice little waterfall. I was able to refill my water bottle, and the water is so delicious. And then just a little bit past the waterfall, I stumbled upon this cabin. I actually didn't even see it on the way up the mountain. I must have been so tired. But the way down, I discovered it, and look how big it is. I mean, this thing is huge. It must be 30 feet by 15 feet or 30 feet by 10 feet, something like that. It's probably a good 300 or 400 square feet anyway. And what's up next? Okay, so this is the far side of Lake Como. And this area is beautiful as well. All these mountain lakes in Colorado seem to be just so picturesque. I love hiking up to the lakes. Now this is a little selfie time. I discovered that I really don't do many selfies anymore. I don't know why. But I saw this beautiful backdrop and I thought, well, maybe I'll jump in and do a little selfie. I feel like such a clown. This next video is so sweet. This is the side-by-side rock crawler. This guy was going all the way up, I think, to Blue Lakes. But I'll give you a second here to just soak it all in and check it out. Alright, so for those of you who are interested in potentially hiking this trail someday, you'd be very interested to know this. So, All Trails has changed the location of what they consider to be the trailhead, and both times they kind of took it too far. So if you look at the top map, that is from August of 2023, they considered the trailhead to be right at the boundary where the national forest begins. And then they were saying that it was just like 4 miles up and 4 miles back. So the problem with that is that that is an impossible location to reach for most vehicles. You would need a Jeep or Toyota Tacoma to even get to that trailhead. I tried to get up there with my Subaru Impreza and I fell about 1.5 miles short. So if you add 1.5 miles each way, that adds 3 miles. And then that 8.3 mile length is not really correct. It's maybe more like 9 miles. So if you take 3 miles and 9 miles, you got a 12-mile hike, which is just too far for me. So they revised the trailhead to be out by the main road, as you can see on the bottom map there. And the problem with that is, or the issue with that, is that a good portion of that dirt road is very manageable. Even with a Subaru Impreza, you can get a few miles down the road. So at the top map they took it too far in, and on the bottom map they took it too far out. So I do actually offer a service if you're interested. I live right nearby and I could bring you part of the way up the trail with my side-by-side for a fee. So if you're interested, you could contact me. But just know that a good part of that dirt road is drivable, but you're probably not going to make it up to where the national forest begins unless you have a Jeep or a Toyota Tacoma or something with a four-wheel drive and a high ground clearance. So yeah, contact me if you need help up the trail. I'd be happy to assist. All right, so I've got just a few photos I wanted to share with you, and then I'm going to show you the video, the GoPro video of my side-by-side heading up Lake Como Road. And during that video, I'm going to share with you 7 realizations that I recorded on my hike. I really didn't have any intention of sharing them, but when I go hiking, I get so clear-minded and so motivated, and then I tend to forget all about that the very next day. So I thought, well, let me go ahead and record this. And then once I recorded it, I thought, well, maybe I'll share it with the audience and see if it strikes a chord with anybody. But anyway, here goes nothing. Thanks for watching. I've become so stressed about every little thought and every little result, giving them so much importance that it's kind of pushed me over the edge. and makes me want to say that nothing matters at all. But then some things do matter. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your parents. So that's taking it too far as well. And I want to say that being present is important, but going all in on mindfulness and meditation isn't the answer either, because a lot of these meditation gurus, to be honest, don't seem that happy either. So there's got to be a balance. And what is the goal? Is the goal happiness? Or maybe there should be a different goal than just happiness. And what is that goal? That's the question. Some of you might say that getting into heaven is the goal, but I don't necessarily believe in heaven. And if there is a heaven, and I'm a good person, and for some reason God doesn't want to let me into heaven, well, then that's his prerogative. Some of you might say that having a family is the goal, but there's too much about this life that I really hate that makes me hesitant to bring kids into this world. Maybe some of you might say that success is the goal. But what is the definition of success? Probably money and happiness. So then that brings us back to happiness. Maybe that should be the goal, but maybe it's a moving target, and maybe it's a moving target for a reason. It's not something that you can just do once and then be happy forever. You have to continually grow to maintain that level of happiness, and maybe even succeed to new levels of happiness. My thoughts. So I know that Andrew and Tristan Tate are super polarizing figures, but I really love watching their videos on Rumble. Their channel is called Tate Confidential, and they just kind of vlog their life a bit. It's really motivating for me to watch, that type of lifestyle. But Tristan said something the other day that kind of struck a chord with me, and that was that he is indifferent about life. He doesn't love it and he doesn't hate it. And I think that's maybe a good attitude to adopt. Like, for example, I'll put a ton of work into some of my YouTube videos, and my ego is tied to the success of that video, and it'll get like 400 views. And so then obviously I feel like a failure. But if I go into it with the attitude of, if it does good, great. If it doesn't do good, then that's great too. I think that's maybe a better way to live life, rather than putting so much value on certain results like I've been doing in the past. So some of you may be interested to know the whole reason that I'm out hiking at all today is because I pushed myself. Let me back up a little bit. I started testosterone replacement therapy 12 weeks ago because my energy levels were just so low, and I have tried everything: exercise, diet, supplements. I've tried it all. And so finally, I know that Joe Rogan started taking TRT at the age of 40, and I'm 47, and there's no way I'm going to live the second half of my life being tired and miserable. And so I decided to try this TRT, and I've been on it for 12 weeks now, 3 months, I guess, and it's been really amazing for me. I'm lifting twice as much weight as I used to. My morning depression is gone. So now that I feel like I got my body where it needs to be, I've been pushing myself a little harder, producing YouTube videos and stuff, trying to put in a full day. And last week I kind of pushed it too hard, and for a minute there I thought I was going to have a breakdown. And so I thought, man, I just need to take a day away and decompress. And so that's what I'm doing today. Is I'm out here in the wilderness trying to get my mind right. And I feel like it's been super helpful because I just found myself being so focused on every little thing, so stressed about every little thing, and so anxious about every little thing. I had to draw the line and say, all right, something's not right. And so that's what I'm up to today, this beautiful trail here in southern Colorado. So there's one more thing that I'm trying to get better at. I read this in Rhonda Byrne's book. It's called The Greatest Secret. And it talks about you'll find happiness once you stop resisting what is. And that's a big issue for me because it used to be a big issue because if I was working, then I would rather be relaxing. If I was relaxing, I'd rather be working. If I was single, I'd rather be in a relationship. And if I was in a relationship, I'd rather be single. And even times when I was at home, I'd rather be on vacation. And then when I'm on vacation, it's like I'd rather be at home. And once you stop resisting what is, like let's say right now I'm single and I'm just focusing on YouTube, and I just need to be happy with what is as opposed to wishing it was different. I think that's been really helpful for me the last few weeks. So I just thought of a perfect example of how you could really drive yourself crazy in this life if you tried to micromanage every detail of every part of the entire day. So I went to the dentist recently, and I got a really good dentist up in Longmont, Colorado. And the hygienist was telling me that because I had a little bit of coffee staining on the bottom of my teeth, or the bottom row of my teeth, and she was saying that instead of drinking coffee and then brushing your teeth, she says when you drink coffee and brush your teeth, what you're actually doing is brushing that acid from the coffee into your teeth. And what she recommended was that brush my teeth first so that my teeth are coated with the fluoride, and then drink coffee, and then rinse my mouth out with water, and then don't drink coffee the rest of the day. And I thought, geez, man, like it's that kind of stuff about life that I cannot micromanage every little detail, because sometimes I want a cup of coffee in the afternoon. Sometimes I want pizza in the evening. Sometimes I want cinnamon rolls for breakfast. And not only that, but all these different drinks that I, have been talked into through these different podcasts, the hydrogen tablets and the collagen powder and the fiber, psyllium husks. I mean, I've got so many different drinks lined up that I can't even get through them all. I typically like to drink hot tea throughout the day, and I'm just not in the mood for the collagen or the hydrogen or the fiber. But it's that kind of stuff about life that could really put you in a tailspin if you just if you want to micromanage every bit of your day. It can really become too much to handle. So I think I'll end it on this one, but I had a really good friend back when I lived in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We called him Karate Mike, and he's one of the wisest people in my life, so whenever he would talk, I would definitely listen. And he said one thing one time that I'll never forget. He says, when he was younger, it was a bit easier to find happiness. You know what I mean? You get a girlfriend and you're happy, and you buy a car and you're happy, and then you get married and go to college and buy a house. All that stuff makes you like extremely happy for periods of time. But now that he's gotten older, he realizes that it's not so easy to just find happiness like that. So what he does is throughout each day, he looks for little moments of happiness. And that kind of ties everything back into the moving target of happiness being our goal. And maybe that's a great goal, is to just find little moments of happiness throughout the day.